Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About House. I'm Todd.
I'm Oana.
Okay, today we're going to talk about mortgage rates. We're going to talk about home sales, and we've got a ton of great charts.
Yes.
But first, we want to say Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving!
It's Thanksgiving. Now, before we get started, we got to do something super cool.
Yes.
Okay, we have friends that were able to get us into something very cool.
Yes.
We spent 4 hours in a commercial jet simulator.
Woohoo!
Now, what we want you to, and got a flight around.
Yes.
Now, what we want you to do is guess what kind of air. Now, this is us in the cockpit. So you can look and see what kind of airplane this is maybe. It's an actual commercial simulator at a major airline. And it was very cool to do it. But what was even cooler was flying it.
Yes.
So here is a video clip of me actually doing a takeoff and with an actual airline pilot who was in the other seat. I'm flying the plane and then taking off and encountering wind shear and doing a wind shear escape maneuver.
Yes.
So here's the video.
100 knots. B1. VR. Rotate. How's it right here?
Wind shear.
All right, next, Ross.
Wind shear.
All right, so
Wind shear.
increasing your
Wind
climbing.
shear. Wind shear.
You're at 400 climbing,
Wind shear.
increasing speed.
Wind shear. Wind shear.
Speed's increasing and decreasing.
So I get the credit for having shot the video?
You shot the video
I did.
and you have to guess what kind of airplane it is.
Yes.
Okay. So it was very, very cool, very fun to do, to go fly that thing. I got to fly it around like a ton. I got to do all kinds of stuff in it. Now, if you're saying, well, how can you fly the plane? Like you're just flying the plane. You may not realize this, but I have thousands of hours in jet aircraft because I was a fighter pilot in the United States Marine Corps. And I've not only flew fighter jets, I flew combat missions, but I flew numerous aircraft, meaning more than two, and landed on numerous aircraft carriers, meaning more than two.
Right.
So I like Top Gun stuff, like no kidding, catapult shots, traps, the whole thing. So I know a lot of pilots and I was able to get that. Anyway, all right.
So-
Anything else?
So yes, he's bragging, but
I'm bragging.
But we're going to get on with the video. Here we go.
Did I mention we've sold 3,000? We've probably 4,000 houses now. It's thousands of houses.
Thousands of houses.
Okay, here we go. This is the first. So we got 3 articles. We're going to hit them all, hit all the charts and everything. Here's the first one. Mortgage rates fall for 4th week, but stay above 7%. So they fall in 4 weeks in a row. You're probably saying, well, why are rates falling? Well, I'm going to jump over here to this chart. This is inflation chart because I've had some people say, Todd, but inflation is going up still and it's higher. No, it's not. Inflation, if you look at this chart, I got this chart from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is their chart. They're the ones who track all this. You could see the trend here. Inflation is absolutely taking. That little up peak was gas prices. Literally gas prices spiked. And other than that, you can see inflation now is lower than it was in 2007, 2006, 2005, and 2012. So it's pretty much almost there. So even though the Fed hasn't cut rates, inflation has basically is affecting the market. Right, Oana?
Right, it is. And it's interesting because I'm starting to get loan rate sheets from lenders, and they are well below 7%.
Oh, I'm going to put this up here. This is a rate chart that one has sent me. It's like 6.5% for a 30-year fix. That's $1 million purchase. So remember, it's not Fannie Freddie. It's not subject to the FHFA matrix where they add on a bunch of percentage points.
Right.
So you can get a 6.5% mortgage for a $1 million house. Okay, here's the first quote from the article. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage fell to an average of 7.29% in the shortened week ending November 2nd, according to data from Freddie Mac released on Wednesday, a day earlier than the normal due to Thanksgiving holiday. That was down from 7.44 The week before, a year ago, the 30-year fixed rate was 6.58. So interest rates are higher than they were last year, but 4 weeks in a row they've dropped. And I mean, I would say it looks like we're through. You never know what's going to happen. Looks like we maybe are through the worst of the interest rate thing, right?
We hope so.
But you're right. We have the new home companies that are offering, remember it was 5.5%?
Right.
It was with Lennar, right, in Colorado.
So the new home places are offering all kinds of spiffs, anywhere from really sweet interest rates to buy downs, whether it's the 3-2-1 or whatever buy downs they're doing. They're offering all kinds of things. So if you are interested in buying a new home in Vegas, please go ahead and hit us up, and we'll let you know what the scoop is. Lots of deals to be had. I've been on the phone with new home places last 2 days for a client, and it's pretty amazing what deals they're willing to make.
Yeah, they're willing to make deals. Here's the next quote. In recent weeks, rates have dropped by 0.5%, but potential home buyers continue to hold out for lower rates and more inventory, says Sam Cater, Freddie Mac chief economist, in a statement. This dynamic is reflected in the latest data showing that existing home sales have fallen to a 13-year low. Now, this is misleading. One of the reasons home sales are fallen to a low is there's not enough homes for people to buy, right?
Right.
So It's not really that, yes, interest rates are high, affecting affordability, but if we had twice as many homes on the market, sales would not be at a 13-year low.
Right. So this is where language matters, right? Because when they're talking about sales, they're actually talking about the number of transactions, but what it sounds like is the price of homes, right? Because that's kind of the way people hear it. So there's a difference between what is said and what is heard.
That takes us to the next article. Home sales fell to a 13-year low in October as prices rose. Okay? So the number of total transactions is down, but home prices are up. Here's the first quote. Existing home sales in October were 14.6 lower than they were a year earlier. And remember, interest rates were less, and there was more inventory.
Right.
So yeah, that double whammy. The median price of existing homes sold in October was $391,800, an increase of 3.4% from October 2022. That's national numbers. So prices have not crashed, unfortunately.
No.
The crash bros, though we'll be old people, and the crash bros will make it. The real estate market's going to crash next year. It's going to do it.
No, we won't be old. They will be old. We'll still be young.
Median sale price will be $2 million, and they'll be talking about the housing crash. Okay. It was the slowest sales pace since August 2010. Analysts were expecting a smaller drop to 3.9 million units. Sales were down 14% year over year. What was interesting was they picked 2010. Why didn't they pick? That's 13 years, Oana. Isn't it awful odd to go back 13 years? Why not go back 14 years to 2009?
Because they're choosing their numbers to fit their story.
What would happen if they would have gone back to 2009?
Well, the numbers have been substantially different.
Yeah, in 2009, we did 750 listing slides, meaning we listed 750 houses that closed, and we got paid commissions. They were bank-owned homes. These were foreclosures. Now, a lot of these were not super high. These were not $1 million houses, right? Less than half of them were $1 million houses, let's just say. Less than half. It was a smaller number than half. But there were a lot of sales in 2009. There were a lot of people buying cash. There were some deals out there. So the number of sales were up. So when they did this analysis, they only went back to 2010.
Right.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Okay, here's the next one. Prospective home buyers experienced another difficult month due to the persistent lack of housing inventory and the highest mortgage rates in a generation, said Lawrence Young, our chief economist. Multiple offers, however, are still occurring, especially on starter and mid-price homes, even as price concessions are happening in the upper end of the market.
Right.
What was interesting from the article was that homes over $750,000, actually the number of sales increased 9% year over year.
Right.
So the total number of home sales are down, but 750 and more are up 9%. Now, are you experiencing that? Are you seeing more sales than you were seeing like this time last year in the $1 million homes?
Right. So that's for a couple of reasons. So let's start with the reasons. So number one is because the prices of homes have gone up, so more homes are over that number. So that's just a fact. So there are just more homes than we've ever had over that number. The other reason is because people that are buying $1 million homes, a great number of them, I would say, in our market, more than half are paying cash. So then they're not sensitive to interest rates.
Not at all.
And even those that are not paying cash, they're still less sensitive to interest rates because maybe they simply are using their cash for something that is bringing greater value, so they don't mind paying the interest rates.
Okay. Here's another quote. At the end of October, there were 1.15 million homes for sale, down 5%, 5.7% from a year earlier. This is about half as many homes as were available for sale pre-COVID. Mm-hmm. Half as many homes. Mm-hmm. What's amazing, though, is the total number of home sales are not down by half. Mm-hmm. They're only down by about 40, 50%. Mm-hmm. They're not down by, let me rephrase that. They're down by
so they're down like
30%.
Okay.
From pre-COVID. Mm-hmm. They're basically down a third. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're down a third. At the current sales pace, that represents a 3.6 month supply. 6 month supply is considered a balanced market between buyer and seller, mm-hmm. which is why when we do our market updates, which we need to do one. We didn't do the market update because we were in that damn simulator. we had to fly out to the city, which is a major hub mm-hmm. for the training center for this massive airline.
So there's a song about the city by the bay.
City by the Bay?
Yes. Never mind. Keep going.
Okay. All right. Here's the next one. Tight supply kept pressure under prices. The median price of existing homes sold in October was $391,800, an increase of 3.4% from a year ago. Prices rose in all regions of the country. So unlike before, when we had some softness in the West, all the regions were up, including the West. Mm-hmm. These annual price increases have been getting larger for 4 straight months. Mm-hmm. So the price increases have been getting larger for 4 straight months. Mm-hmm. So that it's accelerating again. Right? What's weird is that's happening when it's supposed to be slowing.
Right.
And then here's the last one. Then I'll ask you a question. 28% of homes sold above list price. Mm-hmm. Right. That it would have been unheard if you just told somebody that in June of last year. That 25% of homes would be selling above list price right now. They'd have said, you're making it up. Okay, what does this mean,
They're going to say that in the comments anyway.
If in this slow, we have people in the comments going, oh, rates will be 10% next year. And it's like, okay, did you see the inflation chart? Oh, inflation only fell 1 month. No, it's been falling for a year and a half. Okay, here's the thing, Oana. What happens next year when inventory maybe picks up, maybe not, but interest rates drop? And all those people, remember we read in the article that there are people sitting on the sidelines waiting for interest rates to drop, a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. We do have a shadow inventory. We have a shadow inventory of buyers who are going to flood the market.
We also have a shadow inventory of sellers.
Okay.
And
so who's going to win?
And they also want to flood the market. I think they're all going to win.
You think they're all going to win?
Yeah, I do. And I don't think it's mutually exclusive. I think they're all going to win. I think the sellers that have been waiting for the interest rates to drop so that buyers will come back and other sellers will come back to market so that they can move too. So there's this whole thing. It's kind of, they're all playing chicken, right? You know, I won't put my house on the market because I have nowhere to go. So
right.
You have nothing to buy because I won't put my house on the market. And this guy over here won't put his house on the market for this guy to buy because he has nowhere to go. So at some point, they're all going to stop playing chicken and they're just going to come on the market and it will sort itself out. I think it will be really good because people have been on hold for way too long, and our lives are too short to put them on hold. So I am looking forward to people taking a leap of faith and getting on with whatever it is that they need to do in life because life's too short to wait.
As slow as the market is, how busy would you say you are on a scale of 1 to 10?
We're busy.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's like crazy.
We're hearing that reports of we're going to lose, 400,000 real estate agents over the next year or two if the commission thing changes.
Well, that's a whole different video. But as far as us being busy, we are really busy. And what's interesting is that we're busy at price points that even we haven't seen before.
Right.
The amount of listings that are on the market between 14 million and 25 million is crazy. Now, you have to understand, going back to that chart that you had to 2010, back in 2009, 2010, we didn't have that. Vegas just did not have that. And now we have a boatload of these. And not only do we have them, but they're selling.
Yeah.
That's what's really interesting. I mean, there are lots that are selling for 8 digits.
Yeah, that's
Lots.
crazy.
Like,
Lots.
where you get the builds on top of that. So it's amazing to me. So there is a lot of money out there, and people are willing to spend it on their homes.
First-time buyers represented 28% of October sales,
Mm-hmm.
unchanged from a year ago, still significantly lower than the 40% share they have represented historically.
Mm-hmm.
Individual investors bought 15% of the homes, down from 18% in September and 16% from a year ago. All-cash deals made up 29% of sales, up from 26% in October 2022. And I read another article where the amount of down payment is the highest it's ever been.
Right.
The amount of money people are putting down is the most it's ever been.
Right.
So why are they doing that?
So, well, they're doing that for a couple of reasons. One, they're doing it because interest rates are high, and so they're figuring that their money actually goes farther that way. So because maybe they feel that they can't get that sort of return on their money in other ways, so they're going to put it in the house. And then the other reason why they're doing it is because they're getting maybe a better rate on their loan if they put more down payment down. And last but not least, they're putting money down in order to lower their monthly payment and make the house payment more affordable. So all those things are good, but the thing that makes me really happy in all of this is that it adds a lot of stability to the market, because the more equity people have in their home, the more stable the market is. That means that if somebody has a life event and they need to sell the house, there's sufficient equity for the house to be sold. The house will not be sold as a distressed property. People will walk away with money, and that's a good thing. So I like that part. I like people not having to do a short sale. I like people not having to get foreclosed. And all of that just brings stability to the market.
Here's a chart. This is the number of home sales. This is only homes sold in October of each of the years. You can see, and this is where it shows 2010, and it says the lease since 2010. But if you said the lease is 2009, it would be the second least, because 2010 was actually less. It was actually less sold in August of 2010. It doesn't show August on here, but August of 2010 had less home sales. So they just played with the number. If they'd said 14 years, it would be second lowest in 14 years. But that's not as great. Doesn't sound as good as the lowest in 13 years.
Right.
Here are the home prices. This is median home prices since 2000. So you can see the housing crash started in about 2005. People always say 2008, but that's not when it started. I don't know why 2008 is when the great financial crisis started. It's when subprime lenders all collapsed. But the house prices started going down at the end of 2005 into 2006. And you can see prices fell. Didn't fall substantially. Some markets, they fell substantially. But this is historically, I mean, for housing to fall 10 or 15% is massive. I think it was about 15% it fell overall. You can see what home prices have done since then. So this chart looks pretty, when you go, oh, home prices have skyrocketed. This does not look unrealistic here. This chart looks pretty benign. It's like home prices have gone up, yeah.
Right. Well, and we've said this before, over time, home prices go up. I mean, do they meander in the meantime and go up and down? Yes. But over the long run, home prices go up.
What's funny about this chart, if you look at it, 2022, remember, that's when they said the crash, peak to trough and the crash, oh my God, and then it just went up. Mm-hmm. So if you had said in 2022, no, home prices will go up next year, they would have laughed at you, and they did. They laughed at us when we literally said home prices would moderate, which is what they've done. This is the mortgage rate one. Here's another chart. This is misleading because this chart, they intentionally stopped at 2000. Because if you go back to 1999, rates were higher. And if you go back to the 80s, rates would make this look like nothing because rates were 18%. Rates will almost triple what they are now.
Mm-hmm. Well, even if you go, to the 1990, 91, they're much higher. So. Yeah,
someone put in the comments that they bought a house in like 90 something, and it was 12%.
Yeah,
12% it's like almost double. It's like 80% more than the current rates are right now.
Right.
Here's the chart showing total number of homes on the market. Mm-hmm. That bottom there is actually 2022. It was the spring of 2022 when prices kind of went up because people knew interest rates were starting to go up and everyone flooded in to just grab houses. So it did two things. It artificially sucked a bunch of houses out of the market, and then it artificially pushed up prices just like short term. But this doesn't look anything like it did before pandemic, 2018, 2019, 2017, when you could see there's like 1.2 million homes on the market. There's a lot less now.
Right. So, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think, sellers are going to start to move. And once they move, then the whole market moves.
Okay. Put in your comments what aircraft that you thought.
Yes.
Bonus points if you can guess. I'll give you 3 guesses to name one of the aircraft carriers that I landed on. I'll give you a hint. Don't guess anything that was recently built. Okay? These are older aircraft carriers. Actually, I'll give you another hint. One of them was actually under construction during World War II, but then the war ended, but they finished it anyway. And it was this very small aircraft. It's the smallest aircraft carrier I ever landed on. I landed an A4 Skyhawk on it, which is a little single-engine tactical jet. It was very fun.
Okay.
So.
All right, well, fun. Hope you enjoy the charts. Let us know what you think. Happy Thanksgiving again.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Please leave us your real estate related comments or aviation.
For this video only. We can talk about aviation.
Aviation related comments. Todd will enjoy those.
Yes.
We appreciate you watching. Please remember to like the video. Subscribe. You never know what cool things we'll talk about. Hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know that we've talked about something cool. Share the video, and we will see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.